One. All right, stream's going. I'll give you a cue with that.
Yeah. Just tell me whenever you're ready.
We're on a, right now we're on a title card.
Definitely.
And they can't see us.
I
So that's one of the magic
didn't,
of it.
I definitely didn't.
No.
Okay, so I always forget to tell you this ahead of time.
That's always fun.
We have 2 spots.
Uh-huh.
Both are, so one's in the beginning, one's in the middle.
Yeah.
So we could do the first one after our intros, the second one after what we're into.
Perfect.
Yeah.
There you go.
The confusion is when we have the one that's in the back half. So it's like, don't do it after what we're into. Wait till like halfway through the back portion.
Wow, we're seeing behind the curtain. And now the curtain's
I
lifted.
hope the kids are excited about that conversation.
Hey,
Teamwork.
I would be. Well, we're live right now, guys. Well, I didn't mean to burp in front of the guests. Guys, we say hello, Patreon, to Trevor and Noah. They're from Drunk Stoner Stupid.
What's
Thank
up?
you for joining us.
Yeah.
We're going to do another intro when the audio starts going, but we have people who actually contribute to our Patreon every month, and they get to watch live. Right now we got Maggie Whitmer with us, also Danny Boy. That's their usernames. But
Gotcha.
they're the best. They support us. They're good people.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
So for those watching at home, Trevor.
No.
Noah.
Trevor. I'm going to do that the whole time.
Trevor, Noah, and then we didn't print out a picture of Trevor Noah.
Yeah, Trevor Noah. He should be right in the middle.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Trevor. No, that guy. Sorry, it's for him. Teresa's joining us as well, and I think we're ready to kick it off. We're going to talk about board games, card games, any kind of game. You ready, DJ? All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, hey there, boys and girls. Welcome to Only Stupid Answers, the best damn podcast you can put your moist little ears into. My name is Sam Basher, joined again by...
Who?
Jay.
Oh, hey.
Eve.
Me. Yay!
I'm not wearing headphones this time, so I don't get to hear the silky smooth. That's my voice.
It's pretty smooth.
Extremely so.
Smooth peanut butter is all we have in this household. Welcome, joining us for the very first time. We have very special friends of the podcast, Trevor and Noah Mayer.
Yep, Mayor.
Mayer.
You got it
Make
right.
sure I said that correctly.
Yeah.
You guys, you created something.
We
Many
did.
the 3 things. 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Board games.
Currently.
Card games.
You
Card
created
games.
the numbers 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
No, you guys created a game that we, if people are listening, if they're fans of SourceFed or SourceFed, we actually played the game and demoed it a couple different times, and it was a blast.
Yeah.
And I think I have, there's a copy of
Yeah.
in that board on the top shelf, right behind you.
It's
There's
right
a couple
there.
different ones. There's an expansion pack up there, too.
Oh, nice.
I'm Drunk Stoner Stupid. It's a very fun card game. If you guys are not familiar with it, we'll talk about it. It's going to be fun. And also, you guys made new card games that I want to talk about, specifically Dick Match. There's a little tease. A little dick tease. But at the top of every show, let's do a quick intro. Business up top. You can find everything you want to know about this podcast at onlystupidanswers.com.
That's the one.
You got the social medias like Twitter at onlystupidanswers.
Check out the bells from Stupid.
Exactly. Look back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Ping pong.
He's like, watch a true professional.
Yeah,
Wow.
if you want to check out places where you can listen to podcasts, if you don't like where you're listening to it now.
If you were like, can I download this twice?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I mean, we wouldn't hate it.
No, we get more views.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or YouTube, any of that, onlystupidanswers.com. You can join us to watch this live or enjoy our bonus show at patreon.com/onlystupidanswers. But at the top of every episode, we like to read user reviews.
Yes.
Specifically 5-star reviews from iTunes. If you want to pop over to iTunes and give us a 5-star review, we like to read those.
The only way we make it through the week.
but also, if we post the episodes up on Patreon, and you can leave comments there that are directly for the episode. And we've got one of each today. Sam, would you like to read the 5-star review or the Patreon?
I thought you were going to just throw me the long one. I'll do
No,
the long one.
you get to choose. You get to choose.
No, I'll do the iTunes one from Catherine Richardson, who is the person who contributes to the Patreon. And we got in a fight in the comments.
She brings it up.
She does good. Catherine Richardson, only podcast I've stuck with. That's very nice. I've listened to every episode and have been a part of the Patreon community basically since it launched. But sadly, I'm bad and I'm just now reviewing. Love the community these two boys have created about the things they're passionate about and how everyone feels like a friend now. That's true. We have a really cool community over there.
Sure do.
Definitely recommend joining the Patreon community and catching the live shows. Love DJ and Sam. It always feels like Sam gets said first, but me and him are fighting, so DJ is first.
Yay! For once!
For once!
For once!
Catherine, we're friends. We are fighting. What's the other one?
So the other one is at Patreon. You can leave comments for specific episodes. Last episode we talked about what surprises could be in store for Avengers Infinity War. So Kyle Calvert said Ant-Man dying would sure be a shock, which it would be considering he has a movie coming out just a couple months after. So that would probably be the biggest... Yeah. Wait, what? Is that what could happen in that movie?
Hey, it'd be a fun twist.
That'd be a chronology problem.
At the top of every show, we like to hop into what we're into this week. It's a fun segment. Get to talk about comics, movies, TV shows. Do you guys ever read a comic book?
I read Archie comics as a kid.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
We'll see if
Yeah.
Riverdale. But before we dive into what we're into, let's take a quick second to check in with our new pals at Black Tux.
But not live, because we're
Nope.
going to do that later. Oh, that's cool. We have Julie Layden. She's coming in from Scotland. And Teresa, Maggie, you guys are awesome. Thank you for joining us. Let's hop right back in. Here you go. So we know where to cut. All right, let's kick it off, DJ. Would you mind starting off so we can show the boys?
I did so many
Oh, that's
exciting things this week, like watch movies and other stuff. But I think the thing we should talk about that our fans would enjoy. I watched Hunt of the Wilder People, which was great. But that's just great. You should go see it. That's all I have to say
Have you
about
ever
that.
watched the Taika Waititi movie? He did Thor Ragnarok. And
Okay.
he's a New Zealand director. And it's an amazing, heartfelt movie.
Yes.
Hunt for the Wilder People.
But I think what we should talk about is Action Comics 1000.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Superman turned 80.
Yeah, Superman
Yeah.
turned 80
Damn.
years old, but he looks just as young
He
as
looks
ever.
great.
Weird. It's
Yeah.
like as if comic book characters never age.
Never
For some
ever
fucking
age.
they kids get older,
Yeah.
and then they all plateau about 25.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's about it.
Or South Park gets like 12 maybe.
Yeah.
they're
They're done.
basically, comic characters are basically like vampires. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You plateau
Yeah.
at adulthood. But yeah, so Action Comics 1000 came out, which I think is the only comic to ever hit 1000 issues.
Yes. No.
Also,
it was the first. It's the baby.
Also-
and the baby got to 1,000.
and also, I think it got there legitimately, not without some of the renumbering shenanigans. Like, I think Spider-Man is about ready to hit issue 800, and it's like,
I think they wound it back a little bit.
Yeah.
I think they fixed it.
Yeah.
Anyways, but it was a big collection of different artists and writers that came together and made a giant collector book of different stories, like original stories that they created. And there were some beautifully touching stories. Like there's one by one of my favorite writers, Tom King. And the premise is that it's after...
with art by Clayman, correct?
But yeah, and it's beautiful. And the story is that after like a millennia, basically find out that Superman can't die. And like he comes back to Earth after everyone's left, and he makes one final gravestone for his parents and
Yeah.
like his Earth
Damn.
parents. It's very sad because Tom King writes a lot of
sad.
depressing stories, but it was this really heartfelt moment where he just got to talk about like where his family's at now. And the wonderful life that they set up for him,
Yeah.
and how they turned him into a good person.
But there's a great collection of creators because you got Scott Snyder, you got Jeff Johns, you got Peter Tomasi, you got Patrick Gleason. I can never pronounce his name, but his art's so beautiful. He did a great run on Thor.
Hey,
Olivier
take a swing at
Coipel.
it. Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that's right. Raphael Albuquerque, John Cassaday.
Damn, you
this is the first.
remembered more
Yeah,
than
this
me.
is the first Brian Bendis writing Superman with Jim Lee on art. And for me, the standout, a lot of the stories were basically 6 pages, so there's not a lot like they're not very hefty or deep. For me, the standout is the art. So much, just gorgeous art in this book.
And if you guys don't know, you know that show Jessica Jones on Netflix? It's got like billboards everywhere. It's a Marvel show.
Okay.
That person who created that character and like made her like the all-star that she is now running Superman. So it's pretty exciting and like
Yeah,
it's,
people are
it's-
really looking forward to it.
We'll see.
And, yeah, and so it's a cool celebration of the character. My favorite stories is Jeff Johns and Richard Donner co-wrote a story that goes back to the story of the classic Superman wrecking the car, which is my favorite. But I also like the John Cassaday contribution with the where he's trying to outrun a gun. That's a really good story. But it's just a cool it's a cool celebration of the character, and it's fun to see all these different creators contribute their different takes. So that was a fun read this week.
Yay. Trevor, let's start to you, buddy.
Yeah.
What are you into this week?
Oh man, well Noah and I just got back from Coachella
Really?
on
When?
Monday because we're basic.
Bastards.
Yeah,
I really
basic.
wanted to go.
Does that
I mean,
make
I'm
you
basic
basic?
too.
Yeah.
Of course it does.
Yeah, no,
Hold on.
absolutely.
You have to be okay with it.
Okay.
I've got a flash that says "Live, Love, Wander." And
Hell yeah.
It hasn't. It's the only one that hasn't come off
He's a
yet. All the
wanderer.
ones
It's
came
there
off.
forever.
Yeah, I'm okay with
It's not a
it.
flash tattoo,
I'm
it's just a
fine.
tattoo
Yeah,
now.
I'm fine with that, yeah.
But it did to the last time. I mean, I'm 28 now, and I felt like really old getting there.
Yeah.
What's the general demographic of Coachella? I've never been.
It's like younger than you'd think. Like there's a surprise, like an alarming amount of high school like people there, which is disturbing.
Weird.
I don't like
Why
that.
did they do that? Like,
I
why
don't
did
know.
their parents let them do that?
I don't know. Like our little cousin Maya, she grew up in LA, and then her and her friends have been going to Coachella since they were like 15.
Ew. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought
Sorry,
in my
Maya.
head Coachella it seems older, but then you see that everyone of every age demographic, usually the like female friends that I have on Instagram, they all like are dressed the exact same. It's like the flowers and the
Yeah.
flowy rogue dress things that they wear. And it's like, but everybody looks like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So you just have to embrace it.
Yeah, so it does seem fun though. Did you see any cool performances?
Odessa was definitely my favorite.
Odessa was awesome.
They're probably my favorite artist.
Yeah, it's
too,
my favorite too.
So I just let me see if I can pull it up really quick. I'm not gonna play it, but I did just like start actually following Odessa more closely because I would just like a song would pop up and I'm like, oh shit, that's really cool. I would like to see a trance video on YouTube to that. You know, like it's like, or like scenery shots of like drones going over forests and like that's playing in the background. But I did find an album of her.
There's two guys from Seattle.
Yeah,
dudes. Yeah.
It's not just not her. It's two guys.
They have an album called A Moment Apart, and I love the way it's structured. It's got a great the intro. I played like 10 different times because I love it. It's so good.
We were just talking about it in the car right over here.
It's so good. Okay, so
it's really good.
Yay! He doesn't listen to EDM, so
No. I will say Coachella is an opportunity for Google to remind me that it spies on me. Did you know Vince Staples is playing at Coachella?
Yeah, I saw
All right,
him too.
thanks Google.
You did?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It was good. It was pretty intense, but I love Vince Staples. There was also throw up in front of me, so it was like tough.
Dope.
Like that was I had to fight through that.
That's the real experience right there.
That was real. Yeah.
Actually, Teresa in the comments said that she went to the first one. Jeez, that was back in 2005.
The very first.
No.
Coachella.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow, nice.
Well, that's awesome. What was the most memorable performance for you guys, you think?
Definitely Odessa.
Definitely Odessa.
yeah.
Did you guys see Beyonce or no?
That's you got a lot of shit for that one.
You were working or what?
No, it's just for fun.
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But no, do you have a different thing for what you're into?
Let's see. Well, you were talking about TV shows. I just saw we both watched Mindhunter pretty recently.
Yeah, Mindhunter's rad.
And it's been just kind of like mind fucking me.
Yeah.
Like slowly
It's the most engaging criminology lecture that you could ever
right,
watch.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, David Fincher's just like unbelievable. And just the last scene where he's talking to Ed Kemper in the emergency room, that scene when he's giving him the hug, that scene just gave me like a full-on panic attack.
That actor,
so intense.
The actor that plays Kemper shows up as an IT guy in Barry, and it's really weird because it's like a 180. Like he's just a dude. He's just the typical like
he's actually a normal
comic relief IT guy.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, but you're a serial killer.
Yeah.
It's like you don't understand.
Nobody here knows.
Yeah.
Somebody tell them.
Well, for me, I wanted to actually give a shout out to a podcast I think people should check out. It's called The Habitat, and honestly, it doesn't need a shout out from me because Apple Podcasts has been promoting the shit out of it. So I think most people have checked it out, but if you haven't, the premise is about the NASA High Seas experiment. So NASA plans to go to Mars, but to do that, there's a lot of like things they have to check off. Like, when we go to Mars, it's going to take about 3 years to get there. And once you get there, you're going to be there for about a year before there's any chance of you possibly coming home. But to send a habitat there, the habitat's going to be about the size of this room. It's not, that's it. And like, outside of this, it's poison. Like, I think I'm getting a phone call inside this drawer. Oh wait, I hit my phone in there. But so they have to see what would happen to people if they were in such a small space and they could not go outside for that amount of time. You can go outside in like spacesuits, but that's still not going outside really because it's like these bulky suits and there's like fans going, so you can't really hear your own feet like hit the ground. So it's not great.
Right.
But the podcast it's 7 episodes, about 25 to 30 minutes apiece, and it's a journalist who kind of who gave them a digital recorder so that they could send out messages because they simulate what it would be like to send messages back and forth between Mars. So there's about a 20-minute delay, and all they can do is email and then look at Wikipedia pages, but they're about 20 minutes behind being updated, and it's really interesting because you're like immediately like all the air quote astronauts are like, no, it's gonna be great. You know, like we're gonna have lifelong friends, and it's like deep down you're like, no, they're probably gonna hate each other by the end of this.
Yeah.
And you're like hoping it's not like a Lord of the Flies like situation where like they freak out. But it is really interesting because it like talks about like when you're that close with someone, like different types of relationships that can be formed, or maybe like everyone kind of gangs up against somebody. Like who is going to be that person? Could it be an outside force? Could it be inside? What about food? What about like just privacy in general, because I think the way they measured the habitat was walking from one wall to the other, and it took 33 steps, and that was it. That's all the space you have. And I'm like, oh my god! And the habitat, if you guys didn't know, is on Oahu in like the volcanic rock region, so it looks like you're on another planet if you were to go outside. And so now it's done. So they're all out. and I think another experiment has just begun again in that same place. Oh, wow. But it is a very interesting podcast because of the way that I talk about, like, what if you got in a relationship when you were in there? Like, if you were in space, like, does NASA have a plan for sex in space? And it's like, short answer, no, they don't.
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't expect them
they
to.
don't. But see, that's the thing. But also, it's like, if you did long-term missions like that, and there's men and women, or whatever, like, wouldn't something happen?
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't you give them condoms at least? It's interesting.
This sounds like the real world.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a real world meets Survivor
point,
meets space.
Exactly, and like if this Mars mission, if they recorded it just like this, it'd be like, yeah, I'd be tuning in every single week to know.
Yeah, for sure.
What are they into? Like, what?
This is sponsored by like MTV or.
Wouldn't it be amazing?
Yeah,
that's how they get to Mars finally.
Executive producer Elon Musk. It's perfect. Yeah.
Oh, we should get him on the show.
And then they release a horde of space rats into the 30-foot just to see what happens.
It's during a lull.
Yeah.
They need
to bump them up a little bit.
Filled up this precious weight we had with like 50,000 rats.
and the little spacesuits that the rats have, because they can't survive.
So cute.
PETA would have so many issues if we just released the rats.
And it would have to be Joe Rogan releasing the rats.
OG
Fear
he
Factor.
pops out of like a closet. You're like, how? Why? You know you're stuck here now, right? Like, you don't. There isn't like a Hyatt that you can go to after to like unwind. But awesome. That's what we're into this week. Let's give a quick shout out to another friend of the podcast before we hop into the meat.
Yes.
Cool. I don't know which one this one is.
It was Dollar Shave Club. Let me write a note real quick.
There you go. How you guys feeling?
Good.
Since you can't hear, can you cheat to them because you're talking to them, which is great. But can you cheat the mic towards you when you do that? And also when you can't hear, but when you hit the table,
I'll hit it harder.
Okay.
Good answer. Ready?
Good answer.
Okay. Hold on. Yes. Dope.
All right.
This cold brew is so good.
Yeah, this is really good.
Yay! You have two different ones. That's actually that's from my hometown. I grew up in Santa Clarita, and every time I go up and see my parents, they have this like local coffee shop sells these things they call howlers. Like it's like these kind of like a jug of it over there, and you can just fill it cold brew. And I got that last night, so it's like it's really cool. You can like bring that home with you. And my roommate,
go for it.
Yeah, my roommate makes that one. Hers is more. Strong. But anyways, let's do an episode on cold brew. We can talk about
they're both good. We could go all day on
Let's
that.
talk about cold brew.
Yeah. That's what I'm into this week.
But I mean, I can't control myself. I stopped drinking energy drinks, and now it's cold brews. I'm like, I'm gonna pretend like this is healthier.
To be fair, I feel like it is healthier. Healthier.
Less sugar. There's no sugar.
Yeah.
Like taurine or whatever.
It's like
I'm pretty sure energy drinks are basically just poison.
Yeah.
I think 100%.
Yeah.
They found a way to bottle poison.
Yeah. And market it. Yeah.
I think the problem was with the energy drinks, it was corroding the bottle. It's so just the straight nuclear waste.
Yeah, exactly.
Found a way to bottle it.
It's like, man, this green shit just keeps leaking out the back of our power plant. What, is there a way to sell this?
Catch it.
Ooh.
Ooh, shit, it fizzes. This shit's carbonated.
Kids are gonna eat
it's not carbonated.
It's like, let's turn you into a monster. What should we call it?
Oh, shit.
So, fellas, what do you do? Who are you? What do you do? Why are you here?
Give the quick pitch.
That's a good question. I don't know. Why are we here?
I guess we make games. Yeah,
we make
somehow
games.
stumbled into a game company.
Yeah, we
It's
don't.
honestly
We never really play games, but we make games. We started with the Drunk Stoner Stupid was the first game.
Yeah.
And then we ran a Kickstarter campaign for that, like literally just for like no expectations.
Yeah.
Like I was in college, Trevor was at a job in finance. Our dad was like retired, but he's like a tireless worker, so he's always going to be working. And then we got funded, and then we started getting some retail orders, and it just blew up like way faster than we ever could have imagined.
For the kids at home that don't know what Drunk Stoner Stupid is.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Go.
It's essentially a party game with 250 cards of who's most likely to prompts. So there are cards such as wakes up with half a burrito in bed. There's a judge each round, and then everyone basically calls out each other and throws their friends under the bus.
Great.
That's what we did when we did it at SourceFed. We just you get a group of people, and then you just start accusing. It's like you're the master, and vomit, and then not clean it up. But no, it's really fun because everyone doesn't want the card, and it's always fun for them to try to justify but you've done this though.
Yeah.
Not even there's the hypothetical of who's most likely to do this. Yeah. But then it's no, you did this. It's there's even evidence of it.
I remember watching the first SourceFed plays with this guy Sam, and they were playing Drugstore and Stupid, and it was literally like the first like 7 or 8 cards. Everyone's like, "Well, Sam did this." He's like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah.
I'm like, technically you're supposed to like argue to not get the card, and Sam was just like, "Yeah, it was me.
Sure.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah."
I was trying to be more honest. It's during Lance trying to be more honest.
Yeah.
But no, it's a blast, and you guys are developing new games. Now, did you guys do a Kickstarter for that? Our boy DJ over there has been doing Kickstarters. He's been making his own comic.
Sweet.
He's about to kick off a new one.
Actually, a week from the debut of this episode, so April 30th, which is a Monday, ChaosTheoryComic.com is the volume 2 of my comic Chaos Theory Zombies vs. Dinosaurs. Yeah.
Sick. That's awesome.
So
do you do the artwork and everything?
I knew. I wrote it.
Okay.
I wrote it, and then I have people more talented than me doing it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, it's awesome. But that's, so you have 2 new games out, or you have a slightly different version of Drunks Are Stupid, but then you have my favorite game that's out. That I have in that right there. It's we keep all of our games up there. It's called Dick Match. What's the what if you were to pitch it on Shark Tank? What would you call it? How would you describe it?
If people are familiar with it by different names, but like the memory matching game, like the classic game like we played as kids, it's the memory matching game with dicks. Yeah. Like that's basically what it is.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And they're like cartoon dicks. Okay, so we got coffee like a year ago.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, but it's been a minute. Tell me about how you created that game.
Yes. So we tell people, but they don't believe us. Our dad actually came up with like the first concept for it.
Oh.
And he was actually like, Trevor and I were like, no, we can't do this. And then eventually he convinced us to do it. And then when it came, really all we needed for the game was like the design of the box and then the dick illustrations. So literally, exactly. Like that's all you need, kids. So like when we were looking for the dick illustrations, I literally typed in dick illustrations into Google. And then I clicked on the first link, which was an Etsy profile. And this guy was like phenomenally good at drawing penises.
Too good.
Yeah, he's like
holy shit.
Veins
like
and everything.
like disturbingly good at drawing penises. So I literally just messaged him on Etsy and was like, "Hey man, hey man, I love your work." And I like told him the concept and stuff, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm super down." And paid him a couple $1,000, and he like drew us a bunch of dicks.
Dope.
Yeah.
So basically, he's the real life version of Jonah Hill's character from Superbad.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. Yeah.
He's awesome. So shout out Brendan Pierce in Australia.
There you go.
We'll bring him on the
course
show.
Yeah.
We'll do a reunion. He'll just be drawing dicks.
He'll draw our dicks.
Yeah. At any point, did you get an email and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
No, he couldn't have known. No, he couldn't have known. That's
There's no way.
We're not using this one.
This one hits too close to home.
That's awesome. And so far, like, tell us about like what it's like to run that kind of business, because we're actually trying to turn this into a business.
Win.
Don't tell them. Then it becomes like not fun. But no, tell us. So how's it been so far?
We just pay taxes.
I mean, it's been so much fun. I mean, I used to work in finance full time, and I mean I enjoyed my job. And then it was when we sold out our first holiday season. I was like, wow, we have something like real on our hands here.
Yeah.
And then quit my job, popped into a co-working space, and then it's so much fun. I thought it was gonna be less work, but I was completely wrong. It's like
that's fun.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like it's all going towards like you're working for yourself. You have all the equity in the company, and like all these weird problems pop out of nowhere, like all the time. Like we have Chinese counterfeiters. We have people ripping off our game. We had Kitson, one of our first retailers, went out of business and owed us a bunch of money. So it's like constant problem solving, which I love. And then Noah was able to like do a lot of the creative stuff, like writing content and everything. He majored in what was it? Creative writing.
Nice. Yeah, same.
And then I was a business major, so I'm doing like all the sales and operations and stuff. And it's so much fun.
Very cool. Super cool.
That's awesome. We've been kind of like running into that too, or not like the Chinese counterfeit. As far as we know,
we should look into it.
Mostly
stupid answers. It's the same branding. You're like, why would you take this?
We just got Jin Yang.
New stupid answers.
But like, why did you do? Why would you? Do we have a spin-off?
Yeah, we do.
But we've been like running into like some cool, like I think they're cool opportunities. Like when it comes to like creating a new business, like because we run everything. It'd be cool to hire new people. Especially when it comes to like video content, like when it kind of like for editing and social media, that'd be cool to get someone to do that. It's so like it feels like it should be background work, but it's really important to like making everything work and making sure you're staying relevant. That's really cool. But how where can the kids get both Drunk Star Stupid. Actually, no, you guys have that in Barnes & Noble.
Yeah. So we actually have a retail version of Drunk Stoner Stupid, which is the same exact game. It's just called Who's Most Likely To instead of Drunk Stoner Stupid, because a lot of the retailers didn't want like stoned and drunk in their title. I'm saying, I know, you can't imagine. So Who's Most Likely To is at like Target, Urban Outfitters, Spencer's Gifts, like Books A Million, Barnes & Noble.
Damn, that's so cool.
Indigo, if you're in Canada, Calendar Club, Go Games, all throughout Australia.
So all those retailers carry like almost basically all of our games except for Dick Match. So if you want Dick Match,
that was for Calendar Club Canada. Took
Shout out Calendar Club Canada.
Wait, Spencer's Gifts didn't take Dick's Match? You could buy bondage stuff in there. It's like
you can get dildos.
It's so weird because there are Spencer Gifts out in LA now, but I grew up in LA and like I'd never seen one. I just heard people talk about it, and all of a sudden we got one, and I walked in the back, and I didn't know. I was like, "Is this a goof? This is so weird." It's like, no, these are actual dildos back here. Like these are for one purpose mainly.
This is real life.
You could do a prank with it, but I mean, it's mainly for one thing.
Oh,
that's surprising they didn't take it because they have all that kind of like 420 like prank stuff. And that seems up their alley. Oh well, they're missing out.
That's okay. It's alright.
That's cool. But they can go to Amazon, right?
You can get everything on Amazon.
On our website.
Everything on our website too.
How do you go about making card games?
Yeah, so we have a print broker we work with that works with a few different factories in China. And this is actually a relationship our dad used to have through his book publishing company. And we work with this guy, George, super nice. We actually flew out to China, was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
And went to the factory, and it was like really clean and nice, and there were like no kids or anything.
And number one, no kids.
But beyond the manufacturing side, coming up with the concepts, coming up with what cards are on what, that sort of thing.
How'd that
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's I tell people a lot, like, having your own business is awesome, but at the same time, it's like a lot of pressure. Like, especially, right? I mean, once you have like employees and stuff, and like, you know, all the pressures on like me and Trevor and like our dad to just like come up with new ideas. They're like literally like these people's like livelihoods are depending on you coming up with new ideas, which is like crazy to think about. But for the concepts, I mean, each one kind of has like its own like how it came about. Like Drunk Stoner Stupid literally just like came out of the blue, like my dad and I talking. And then If You Had To, which is kind of like the sister game to DSS. That literally just came from like DSS is a Who's Most Likely To game. Why do we make a Would You Rather game? You know? So like that made perfect sense. Dick Match was just my dad being creepy, I guess. I don't know. It was literally just his idea. I give him full credit. And then I mean, we've got a couple other games that are in production. It's literally just like brainstorming sessions, like the way you brainstorm like anything else. And it usually just comes and we get like a one sentence kind of like explainer of the game, like, ooh, that's interesting. And then we type up some sample questions, like see how it works. And then honestly from there, it's literally just like, I'll write like a ton of sample content and we'll see if it's working. We'll get our designer. We have a bunch of freelance designers we work with to do package design. And that's literally, I mean, you literally just do it.
Wait, do you do like product testing? Like, do you like, when you say tested, do you mean like you literally get people together and play, like test out playing the game?
Yeah. We do that.
You help?
Yeah, totally.
I love to play games.
Yeah, totally.
Games in development,
totally.
Yeah, like the first.
Sure, I go play games.
The first playing of Drunk Stoner Stupid was at my sophomore year at college house, and we were all just, it was just like me and all my roommates just like playing. That was it. Cool. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then you make sure the trains run on time and that there are no kids in the Chinese factory.
Correct. That's the primary goal.
Personally, one job sounds a little more fun. But
have you considered that perhaps having the kids in the Chinese factory will save you so much money? Have you thought about that at all?
They send us 2 lists of pricing.
And you're like, why is this one so low?
Does it involve kids? I don't know.
It's suspiciously too low. Well, that's awesome. We actually have some people who sent in some questions.
Yeah,
and
for
this is
sure.
fun. Let's get going. James Stark. It's James Stark at James Stark Plays. Long-time listener, long-time friend. What's the longest time you guys have gone in one sitting, literally just playing card games? That's actually a good question. I would like to know for you guys. If you weren't so into games before, but now that is your bread and butter.
Yeah, this is true. Playing? Gosh, I don't know.
I recently discovered Catan
Oh,
a couple years
yeah.
ago.
Oh, Settlers?
Settlers.
Yes.
That
Yes.
chews up a lot of
Shit,
time.
Yeah, like you talk about destroying friendships. Like Drunk
Oh,
So
yeah.
Stupid is like
Catan
not
will
even
fuck
close.
you up. Yeah. Like,
That's-
seriously.
we should do an ad for them. He'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
for fucking babies.
Yeah, we had a couple glory sessions of that where we played for like
Yeah.
4 or 5 hours.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's a lot of settling.
Do you
Yeah.
guys know
Yeah.
about why am I blanking? Oh no, Red Flags. It's another
Oh, yeah,
card
yeah,
game.
totally. Yeah.
So that's a game to not play with alcohol because the premise of the game, if people don't know who are listening, it's that you are given like some attribute cards for a perfect date that you're going to set up a certain person in the group with, and it's like they got magic powers and they're the most charitable person in the world, and then everyone in the circle can like give a red card to another person in the circle. So like you can sabotage other people's dates with like, but their genitals just are milk, and it's like I just paraphrased one of the cards I got one time where it's like their genitals are bees. And that's like, and then and you have to like fight to see that you get to fight for your own date, even though the red card could be absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
And it's really it's a great game, but I think there was a shoot we did. We went up to it was the shoot we did for the Naked and Afraid when we did the Naked and Afraid parody, which was a lot
You guys
of fun.
did Naked and Afraid?
Well, we were part of Discovery, like a subsidiary of Discovery Channel for a while,
right.
and they were like, "Do you guys want to do some of our like content for like a different
Yeah.
version of it?" And so I got to do that
Oh,
up in Idlewild.
That's
and it was
sick.
it was so fucking funny. But like as we were like kind of like winding down and like before like we went back, it was it was the night before, and we no one thought about if we were gonna drink alcohol after like being out all day shooting in the sun and altitude, that like maybe alcohol might hit us way harder. I had a Stella and I was like, whoa. And so but other people were like having full glasses of wine, or like they were having 2 glasses of wine with dinner because that's what they normally would have. And then we all like walked back, we got Red Flags out, and then we played for like, it felt like 3 hours, but like we were just screaming at each other about why our dates were bad. Like, how dare you insult our date? Like, she has to live with those bees. It was one of the most memorable. Like, no friendships were broken, but afterwards we were just so exhausted. Like the alcohol hit us, all the carbs, all the sun, and then like just all the emotions that we had to let out when we were playing that. It's one of my favorite memories. That was a blast.
And you also had sex.
And
then you had a nice
we
thing.
Mid-scream, we all just passed out.
Sign up on Patreon to watch live orgies of Sam.
Exactly.
Hey, you gotta make it. You gotta make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Contribute to the Patreon.
You gotta keep those patrons engaged.
Yeah, exactly.
But DJ, how about you? What's the longest?
20 minutes? I don't know.
20. Quick 20-minute game of Monopoly.
You probably always Monopoly. I'm shockingly good at it, which makes me feel bad.
Are you good at it and you like it, or you?
No, I don't. I don't like it. I just happen to be good at it.
That's why you do the finances.
And it makes me feel. Monopoly is a game that the better you are at it, the worse you feel about yourself as a person.
Why?
Oh,
I'm
interesting.
very bad at it, so I don't.
Because it
play
makes you.
for very long.
Because it makes you. It's basically your job is to dick over your friends.
Yeah.
And
Yay!
It's not. It doesn't make you feel good about yourself.
Okay. Go deep. Dig deep.
Yeah.
Childhood.
Yep.
Favorite board game. Let's start with Trevor.
Oh shit.
Dig deep. Oh, did you have one already?
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
So did you?
Clue.
Oh, damn it.
Oh,
I should have started
Clue's
because I
good.
wanted to say
Yeah,
Clue.
Clue. Because Clue's great.
And you
Clue's
watched
kind of
that movie,
sleeper.
right?
Yeah, and the movie's great.
Yeah. There was a weird like Clue FX version of the game, not for the channel. They didn't have like American Horror Story.
With extra people?
It was extra people, but it also had sound effects, which was really weird.
I don't
It
remember
was-
if mine had in school, in my elementary school class. It might have been the same one, but because it was a school version, the sound effects had been destroyed millennia ago.
Get just shoved crayons.
Yeah, exactly. But it had more people, and I could never find, like, there was a Mr. Brown or whatever, and like a bunch of new characters with more rooms, and I've always tried to find it, and I could never find the advanced version of Clue. It was always so cool to me, adding all the extra characters and theoretically sound effects.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with Guess Who.
Yeah.
Guess Who's a lot of fun.
Guess Who's
a lot of fun.
That's the flip that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
Which,
a blast.
the backstory for Dick Match.
We've thought about it.
That would be so fucking funny. They're like, oh god, that's just all the so they're all like facing me. It's like this. It's like a weird dream. Like, you know when you have the dream, you're like, oh god, I gotta perform, and you're naked, but the audience is dicks, and you're like, oh my god, I gotta go talk to a therapist. See what this mean? Why are they all there? But no, what about you?
I'd say probably Stratego. Do you guys know Stratego?
I know Stratego, but I don't think I've ever played it.
Yeah, Stratego's great. I don't know. That was just a classic, and then Monopoly's great too. But I would always lose.
Well, explain Stratego to us.
If you remember, I can also Google it.
Yeah, do you remember, Trevor? It's like a very basic like strategy game.
Yeah.
So you have like all these pieces, and you have all these like different like kings and like pawns kind of things.
It's like chess a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's different like numbers. And then you like have a flag on each side. You try to capture the flag, and they're like bombs too. Yeah. And certain numbers can take out the bombs.
Yeah.
And it's like you walk up to people, and you're like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
Like, you're 6. Oh, I'm a 7. Then you're like,
exactly.
Cool. It's like an army. Yeah, it's like an army strategy. Well, Stratego strategy.
And it's all your pieces are secret, so the other person can't see any of your pieces, and you're trying to find their flag, and they're trying to find your flag. And I don't know, it's very interesting because you can you basically just like see the tendencies of the person you're playing and just try to like mind fuck them. Jeez. And like if they think that you would put the flag over here, you want to put it over there, and like put your bombs here and stuff. I don't know. Nice. Yeah, it's fun.
As a kid, I definitely played. I just remember Clue's my all-time favorite. I just remember my second favorite. Yeah. But I always would pull out Mousetrap, and I feel like this is the same for everyone. Yes. Yeah. And I don't know if any of us have ever played a game of it, but we definitely have set up the unit and then set it off because you're like, oh, I want to see the ball flip and then the fucking cage fall, and you're like, I have no idea.
I played it, but yes, the
main thing you did.
And I think we probably all set it up twice and then lost pieces.
Yes,
exactly. And lost pieces and yeah, exactly.
I also there was this game where it's like Operation, but minus the body. It was like a square, and you had different yellow pieces that were like different shapes, like squares or plus signs or moons, and you have to pull them out before a timer goes off and it shakes all the pieces out.
That's really familiar.
Yeah, there was definitely ads for it, like on Nickelodeon, when we were kids or something like that. But I did remember my second favorite game, and it's the only game that my family would play. We didn't fight a lot, but whenever we all would just suddenly get really competitive with any game. Even Clue, we never got competitive with because there's nothing really to compete against. But Cranium was the other game that we were good at. Because, and also as a kid, it's the most fun because you got that weird smelling Play-Doh that would come with it, and you're like,
what? You're supposed to sculpt with that, right?
Yeah. But we all ate it, right? Just they fucking chow down. Yeah.
Sam, you're the only one that ate it.
Purple poop. Yeah. For this boy.
He still does it. He still buys copies of Cranium just to eat the Play-Doh in it.
Hey, there's the paleo diet. I don't judge that at all. Or what's that?
What's that one?
Ketosis.
Ketosis. That's the one where they eat just like a stick of butter a day.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, look at me, I'm ripped now. Yeah. I'm like, fuck you. That means nothing to me. I went down a weird rabbit hole, finding it. When I found out what that was, this week, and I went to a subreddit about it, and I was like, I have no idea.
Oh,
none of this makes any fucking sense to me.
It's so weird.
It's
so we got another tweet from Isabella at Decapod Overlord. You've got everyone yanking those vowels out of stupid because we have the vowels are out of stupid on our Twitter handle, also on your Twitter.
Oh yeah, we're STP
because you run out of room.
Yep.
Anyways, which fictional characters would you all invite to a game night at your place?
Oh, wow.
Ooh, that's
you guys have some creative listeners.
Yeah,
really.
We all live in fiction. We don't live in the real world. That's a good one. I don't want anybody smart. I don't want anyone too smart. Do you want someone do you want a Sherlock Holmes?
If they're on your team?
Oh, never mind. I want Sherlock Holmes on my team. Yeah. But who would you go up against, DJ?
Why me first?
I
read the question. I read the question.
It's your podcast.
Who do you want?
Okay, here we go.
Superman, just because I want to hang out. What's the criteria? I think for who you want to play games with. Do you want somebody? Is it people you want to hang out with? Is it smart people? Is it dumb people? Is it funny people?
We're gonna play Dick Match.
Yeah,
this is my game. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna get. Okay. So I'm gonna get Batman. I'm gonna play Dick Match with him. And at first he's gonna be, actually he'd be weirdly cool. He'd be down because he always has weirdly sexual outfits he's always wearing. He's like, oh, I can definitely identify this quick. His nipples are always popping through his outfit. And he's always got a giant bulge. He's like, yeah, cool, I can do this. So he's a detective, so he's got photographic memory. So he'd be flip. He's like, oh, definitely the non-circumcised over here and the circumcised over here. Cool. And we'll that one's about 3 inches. Yeah, that one God worked a little longer on that one. So we're gonna, just like, and he figured it out really quick.
All right, then how about this? I say I want to play with Daredevil. Because he can just feel the ink on the cards with his special radar sense.
Are you playing Dick Match too?
Why not? I guess.
First he'd be like,
okay, who do we want to play Dick Match with?
Okay, then we'll get more specific. Because if you play Clue with like Batman or like a detective, you're like, that's not fair. Because he's gonna like immediately he's gonna be like, okay, 100% Candlestick, Professor Plum, the library. You know, I should probably talk on the microphone, huh?
Yeah.
But how about you guys? Who's someone you want to? I kind of
was speaking Monopoly earlier. I kind of like the idea of playing like Monopoly with Michael Scott and just seeing the descent into darkness of him just losing his mind and yelling, "I declare bankruptcy!" at the end.
But also he'd go in so cocky.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
So confident that he has like a perfect plan. Like when he did the fun run and he ate all that.
Yeah, exactly. Ate all that Alfredo before, right?
Oh my god! I want to do an Office podcast so bad, but we already do this and so many other ones. It's like I don't think I have time. But I know people want an Office podcast.
I want an Office podcast.
Yeah, you just rewatch it. Like I'll sneak into someone's office park and I'll go in there and we'll record the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
That way it feels authentic. You can hear like copiers going and people
exactly.
like shuffling around papers moving. But Trevor, what about you?
I'm gonna go Randy Marsh from South Park.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ooh, are you playing this match?
Actually, I feel like that would be very, very entertaining. I remember the World of Warcraft episode with them.
I know DJ's a big fan of South Park. Yeah.
That'd be rad. That'd be a fun one. Who else? Who else could we incorporate in our misadventures?
Well, now I'm just gonna go into like fantastic. Who's smart? You guys a smart person? No, I don't want to play him. I was like, for a second, I was thinking, Lost popped in my head, and I remember that did you guys watch Lost? No?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Remember the Man in Black and like the Jericho, Jason, whatever, the good guy? Like, it was like black and white, good and evil, whatever that guy. They played chess, and I was like, ooh, that'd be fun. But I'm like, wait, they're doing it over like souls and shit. I'm like, that might be less fun. Oh, okay. Deep Cut.
Yeah.
Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, sequel to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. They go to hell because robots killed them. Spoilers. And they have to fight death by playing different board games.
Which is an homage to Seventh Seal, Death in the Seventh Seal.
But they
which
play
I was
Battleship
thinking,
and stuff. It's amazing.
Nice.
And so I think I'd want to like sneak into that, but I'd be on Bill and Ted's side.
You know what doesn't get enough love is Battleship. Battleship's a fun game.
Hey, it got its own movie.
Remember Battleship with like the squirter too?
Oh yeah! Because you always have to up it. You always have to up the ante, and like that was so much fun.
Did you guys see the movie?
No.
I saw enough of it. I
saw the preview and I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Like Liam Neeson's, it's like what part of it's Battleship? It's like not a lot.
Not a lot. Have you guys thought about incorporating a squirter mechanic into maybe Dick Match?
That is a phenomenal
And you get it correct. Wait, why are we getting hit when we get it right? Like that doesn't make any sense.
We need to decide if it's a punishment or a reward.
It depends on who's playing.
Yeah.
Oh, have you guys tried out? What's that game we played? It's the Pie Face.
We know Pie Face.
That one's getting a lot of love, and I play with my nephews recently, and they just want it to hit them in the face, so they'll just until like it goes. Or there's a crank one, and then there's one where you have to like hit it more times than the other person. Oh. Okay, I just thought in my head I went through fun like games you can play with another person. Recently I went to Portland and there's a very fun like arcade for like it's all ages you can go, and after like 9 o'clock it's only adults and you can like drink and it's a blast.
Oh, nice.
I went with my girlfriend a couple weeks ago. It was when we did a convention in Seattle, and then my girlfriend and I drove down to Portland.
Oh, sweet.
And so we were like drinking a little bit, having a great time. And there's this game where I'm gonna try to explain it the best I can. It's a giant like arcade cabinet, but the way you control your character is using like this. It's like a bumper, and another person next to you has the same bumper, and you're on the same track. And the point of the games that usually come up on screen are that you have to hit the other character off, so they fall. So you actually have to hit the person that you're playing.
Oh, nice.
But we were watching other people play, and they were like being like gentle. They were like not like the. But my girlfriend and I we put our feet up against the other arcade machines, and we're like, no, damn it, I have to win. She's a lot stronger than me, so she won really quick. But I really really want to have that at like a Dave & Buster's, because they don't have anything like that. It's such a fun game. We should go to Dave & Buster's. You guys want to go to Dave & Buster's after this?
Yeah, I've never been.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
It's gonna be like hammer and like play laser tag.
I'm really overhyping it.
Your voice went a little high there, Sam.
My voice cracked a little.
Listen, he gets excited about Dave & Buster's.
Yeah.
Motherfucking onion rings.
My last Dave & Buster's experience was watching the preview for Rampage, where like the monkey destroys the Dave & Buster's, and I really want to know how much they paid for that spot to have their place destroyed by a huge monkey.
I think it's a fun Easter egg because like Rampage is like an arcade game, and like so it's like they get to destroy the one place you can actually go play. How fun is that?
The other fun Easter egg is that the actual arcade machine for Rampage is in the office of the bad guys.
In the we got an invite to go watch it early. Did you guys see Rampage?
No, I haven't.
If you want just dumb. If you want something dumb, you can watch it dumb. You get dumb. You can watch it and it will be dumb. Let there be dumb.
Good dumb or bad dumb?
Good dumb. Okay. I enjoyed it. But at the end, I was like, I don't remember what happened. Besides, like the big fight, I'm like, what? How did we get here? All the animals
There's
got
a monkey.
big. Yeah, you're like, what?
But yeah, the big bads in the movie have a arcade cabinet Rampage in their office. It's like, wait, what kind of Inception shit is this?
Did you plan to make this happen because you played the game? You know that the cities die in the game, right? Like the people die.
Speaking of video games, what do you guys think the merits are over like physical card games, board games over video games?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're in agreement here that it's such a great way to just like get away from technology and just like put your smartphone down, turn the TV off, and literally just shoot the shit with your friends.
Yeah, stay in the moment.
Exactly. I mean, people have asked us to like, are you gonna create an app? Like that'd be so cool. It's like, no, we're never gonna create an app. It's just like a great way to just like get away from technology. Like we're on our computers all day, our phones all day. So we think it's kind of it's awesome that this adult party game space has kind of just been growing and blowing up, and that people are down to just play an actual game opposed to like
it's awesome
do something with their phone or TV, Xbox.
I was thinking about so you ran Xbox like Jackbox, which is
Jackbox is great.
It's great, and they have like 20 goddamn versions of that game. And they're always fun. But I was thinking about that first thing. I was like, that'd be kind of cool if Drum Center Super was like that. But every time I remember playing that is that we're not facing each other. You're facing the TV or you're facing the computer.
Exactly.
And you're not talking. You're like, who said that one? It was like, oh, it was fun. And then you go back to playing the game and it's like, it's not like engaging. You're just all collectively having a good time, but you're not talking to one another.
It's very different.
Like under phone, like
it's like, what's the funniest fucking thing? How do I get a ticket? Hey, you can do it. You can do it. They won't boot you out for that one. But no, that is actually a really cool point.
Yeah, and what we like about our games too is like we really just see them as like facilitators for just like having like great fun like conversation basically. Like with Drunk Stone Stupid, like the ideal way that we would love to see people play it is like you draw a card, you read it out, and then like the game is basically like to the side now. Now you're all just like arguing with each other and just like drawing a card. Like it's that simple. Yeah. That's what we like about it.
Just share stories.
Yeah, exactly.
All the stupid shit you've done, basically.
Exactly. Like learn about your friends, talk shit. Like it's just like a fun like facilitator for that.
Very cool.
Also, if you've done anything embarrassing when drunk and your friends were there inside and you didn't know about it, that's when it usually comes to light.
Sounds like personal experience.
Comment, but yes, 100%.
We've all been there.
Well, I'm very excited to. I'm actually gonna have a party very soon. Here, well, if you're listening, that was just silence. But no, we're gonna definitely whip out a couple of those games. I'm gonna say I'm gonna whip out Dick Match, and people are gonna be like, they're gonna not hear that last word, and it's gonna be very confusing for a lot of people. But what's up for the future? If we're gonna look ahead, what are you guys planning for the rest of the year? Years?
Yeah.
What empire are you building?
Oh, that's
How
a good
can
question.
We be a part of it?
Yeah, we'll have to buy some podcast spots for you guys. I mean, like right now, it's just like adult party games. Like we have like kind of our like production scheduled out for like a year and a half maybe, of kind of like what we have on deck.
Oh yeah.
Past that, like people would ask us like, wait, what's next? I mean, right now it's party games, but I would say like anything that's like we can use like our awesome like design and content for. Whether it's probably like something like the gifting space, whether it's like cards, calendars, like I don't know where it could go. Like we're down to do it if it's fun and creative and like true to us. Yeah.
That's really cool. Wait, go ahead.
Oh yeah, then more specifically, we have a new game coming out. It should be out like end of May, beginning of June, and then another new product probably following a few months after that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You got to tease the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, so if you sign up to our newsletter at
Yeah.
drunkstonestupid.com,
Hell yeah.
you'll be the
absolutely.
first to know about
Totally.
it.
Yeah.
So signing up for the newsletter at drunkstonestupid.com,
Got it.
right? What else, how else can they see what you guys are doing? Follow
Yeah.
you guys? Are you guys on Twitter? What's
Totally. Yeah. We're on Instagram at DrunkstoneStupid, Facebook at DrunkstoneStupid, Twitter at DrunkstoneSTBD.
Same for us.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Can't
Oh
go
yeah.
wrong.
You can say, yeah.
Pull them on out.
Yeah. And yeah. If you want to sign up for our newsletter on our website, we literally like never email people unless we like come out with something new. So that's
Dope.
like really like the only time we'll email you. I literally haven't sent it. I run the emails. I haven't sent out an email in like 3 months. I probably
Hey,
should.
that's an incentive because every once in a while, like I signed up for Hollister's rewards account, and I never need to know more about what Hollister's got cooking. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. So yeah, just all
very
those,
cool.
all those. Yeah.
And what about you guys personally? Do you guys have a Twitter that they can follow you? Do you want followers? What is?
I'm not really active on social media.
There you
I honestly don't even have an Instagram.
I'm very jealous of that. After a while,
Yeah.
you get tired.
Yeah. I'm at Noah J Mayer on Twitter and Instagram. I think my Instagram's private though, so
Nope.
I might have to approve you.
Yeah, we'll see if you can sneak in there.
Yeah.
See if you can sneak in
Slide
there.
into those
That's
DMs.
Yeah.
It goes down the DMs.
That's awesome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm excited to like get my hands on some new games.
Oh,
Also,
yeah.
you brought some today, right?
Yay!
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, so guys, keep your if you're listening, keep
Yeah.
your ears open, and if you're watching, keep your peepers peeled
Yeah.
because there's a chance you could maybe get your hands on a copy.
Yeah,
of
we
that.
got some stuff coming down the horizon. You might see us play some of those games with some friends of ours.
Damn, I want to play games. Damn, I really
But and if you want to know more about the stuff we've got going on, we have a newsletter at onlystupidanswers.com
Yes.
as well.
Mhm.
If you want to know more about Sam,
at Sam Basher everywhere that matters, and for DJ,
yeah, at DJ Talks Trash, every place that matters. And please, like I talked about earlier, go to chaostheorycomic.com. There's a newsletter there. That campaign is starting in a week. There's going to be a nice little first day bonus for everybody that shows up on the first day. So please do that. I'm very excited about it. It's I think you guys are going to dig it. So check out chaostheorycomic.com.
you know what we should have said at the top that I just remembered that
What?
I never remember to write down the important stuff.
Uh-huh.
We're doing a live show May 8th at 8 p.m. There's info today coming out for the podcast. If you sign up with the newsletter, you can find it there.
Do that because I was gonna. We're gonna record something to put at the top. Yeah. So let's
I'll
do
leave that there.
Let's do that as a reminder. Let me hold on.
I'm glad someone's thinking about it.
But I was just like, I was like a third of the way, and I'm like,
Shit. Hey, you might have had it at the same moment. Cool. Ready? But as a reminder, May 8th, 8 p.m., we're going to be doing a live show. There's going to be a Facebook event, and like if you go to our website, you can find info on that. It's in LA, so if you're an LA peep, you can come join us. We have a bunch of friends joining us. If you want to know who that is.
And did we announce the friends at the top?
Well, I think we did.
Yeah, so
let's say one.
So we've got Dynamic Banter
They
showing up.
are.
It's Smodcast.
Yeah,
You're gonna get that live and more.
And more. We have special guests coming.
Yeah.
We have exclusive merch that you can only get there.
Yes.
And we're still figuring out tickets. So just keep your eyes peeled. Probably going to be money at the door.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
And space is gonna be tight, so
you better get there early.
Yep.
You don't want to miss out. We're gonna have some very cool stuff there, some exclusive stuff, and if you can't make it, don't worry. There will be a version of it that Patreon people can get and regular listeners can get as well.
Yep.
We love you guys. It's for our 100th episode. We're very excited about it. And
Congrats.
next week we're gonna be talking about Avengers: Infinity War. And we have a very special guest.
Yeah.
We won't announce now in
Yeah.
case something happens.
Yeah, exactly. But we're very excited about
Very
it.
excited.
Yeah.
If it happens.
Yeah.
But guys, thank you so much for joining us. You guys know where to find us at Only Stupid Answers on Twitter
You got the bells from Stupid.
and everywhere else. Make sure you rate and review on iTunes 5 stars. Trevor Noah.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining
Thanks for
us.
having us.
Thanks for having us.
You
guys.
gotta go
Yeah.
buy that goddamn game. I'm telling you right now. Everybody's listening.
5 stars on Amazon.
Sorry, good at
iTunes
5-star
5
review.
stars.
Just go follow their newsletter so you can
Yeah.
be up to date with everything. We love you guys for listening. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah.
And we'll
Thank
see you
you.
guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Cool. And there's a live people. Just going to give a shout out real quick to Danny Boy, Maggie Whitmer, Julie Layden, Teresa Sims. There's more people here. I know Andy was here and he was like, you guys want to talk about comics? I appreciate you. And everybody else who joined us, we appreciate you guys. 2 p.m. we're doing a Google Hangout with you guys, and we'll see you guys then.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.